Hello, this is Flight 111. We are now arriving at Argyle International Airport.
Jah deliver us from the pain and sorrows. Whenever we travel, it's so much trouble. They push me here, they push me there. They treating us so unfair. Many times they make we cry. I got to ask the reason why. They use their powers oh so heavy-handedly and treating fancies just like we ain't nobody. Opportunity helps them to get ahead of we. But take a good look, we are one regionally. Oh, what a bright and glorious day. Brothers and sisters, yes, it's a bright.
Today is Saturday, the 15th day of October 2016. And I'm here with you at the Argyle International Airport site. Starting my visit just 20 minutes past 10 o'clock in the morning. And as usual, starting it from my favorite spot here at the south end of the Makonyami Hill, overlooking the stops. From where I'm at over here on the Makonyami Hill, looking back to the east, I can see one of the big trucks with a black back heading down the area from where we have the side of the stone crushing plant, and I'm sure it is filled with aggregate, but I'm not quite sure where it is going to dump these aggregates. But I will find out as soon as I get to that area where it is going. And I know it is going up to the north. Now on the southern end, as you are seeing where we have the approach lights, just north of the fencing of the approach lights, you can see activities taking place there, where they are removing the soil to take this area down to about 5 meters where the rerouting of the road is going to be. Now this road is going to pass all the way back up more into the bank of the Fort Hill, away from this piece of road that they would have already built. It is going in a bit more into towards the bank and come over maybe on the flat or link back up to this same piece of new road over on the eastern side there of the site. Now below the bank here we have work going on the drainage. Just a while ago, right across in that area there, we had the guys doing some finishing touches, and further up we have more workmen up there doing finishing touches on the drain. And from where I'm at here, what looks to me from this vantage point that is left to be done is the installation of the poles for the fencing. But when I get closer to that area, you're going to have a look. You remember Wednesday when I passed this area, when I was leaving this area, I show you some photograph and tell you that they were doing night work here, dumping stone and trying to do some work on this area to control the flow of the water. And because of the work they were doing on the drainage here, this area was not yet fully done. So now that the drain is completed, we see that they would have dumped the stones. The compacting machine is down there. It was compacting a while ago and preparing this area so that when it rains, the runoff water from the runway and the other grass area around the runway on the western side, the water will flow quite nicely into the drains that they have running from the south of the Makonyami Hill, going right back out to the north and exiting into that area of the Breadfruit Gutter, where we have a culvert running under the first kilometer of the runway. and coming out on the eastern side and exiting into the area of the Warracoon Beach. So when I get closer down on the flat, I'm going to give you some more update as I get closer to the work of what is actually taking place currently here at the Argyle International Airport. And as you look across the seas there, you can see Becco in the distance, and we have Musty, Canoan. You can see Baloso over there. The sky is clear with a little bit of cloud on around the horizon, but we can see the clear, calm sea. No sign of white out in the ocean out there, and the place is sunny and a little bit of breeze. And this is what the weather is like here for today, Saturday, the 15th day of October 2016, here at the site of the Argyle International Airport. So here at the south end of the site, where no doubt the road is going to pass, and there has to be a road to go down to the bayside, because Rubis still have some work to be done regarding the laying of the pipes. They have gotten as far as to where they have the pump station, and where you're seeing that culvert there, there's a space underneath there, and the road is passing over it. These culverts were put there before the road was built, and they were put there for a reason, because on the opposite side of these culverts heading straight across is where we have the Rubis pump station. So the fuel pipes from the pump station that will be going down towards the seaside will be passing through that same space there where the culverts are and heading down to the bayside. Now Rubis still have some work to do down at the seaside, where they're going to put the anchoring and the buoy for the when the ships, the oil tankers come in, they can moor. You know, they don't have a wharf there, so they have to tie the ship to the buoy, which will be anchored to the ocean floor. Those stuff that they're going to use are on site at the fuel farm. The only thing that they're probably waiting on is the finishing of the work down here, so that they can come and do whatever necessary work they have to do to complete this work. So this is about it that is left to be done, and most likely I believe that they are waiting until the road is in good operation. I guess also that there are going to have to be some electrical poles planted in this area, because the pump, no doubt, I hope it, and I don't know, probably will be working on generator, or probably power from the utility pole. So if in fact it is going to be powered from the utility pole connection, therefore it will need electrical wiring running this area. So I'm heading across to where they're doing some work on the area over there, just north or northeast of the fencing for the approach light. So it is somewhere in that point there the road will be coming up and coming across right where we have this truck, and 10 feet of the fencing was taken off, and right where you have those poles on the outer side, all those poles will be removed, and that will be the roadway. Now a lot of earthwork is taking place on this side over here, and this dirt that they are removing from here is being taken to the back area of the foothill. And as you can see, the road here in this area has gone down a good distance down. It didn't look like 5 meters as yet, but this is what it is like so far here at the south end of the airport site, where we have a lot of earthworks taking place here to make way for the rerouting of this portion of the access road that is passing just outside of the fencing, and the reason being is that the road was supposed to go 15 feet or 5 meters. 5 meters is a little bit more than 15 feet, but to round it off, we say 15 feet down below the level of the approach area of the runway. So where I'm standing here on the inside of the fence, it is in the level of the runway, and this fencing here on the road was supposed to drop 15 feet or 5 meters down below the level where I'm standing, and where we gone down there is just about half of it. If well, it's about little more than half of what is supposed to be done, because the fencing pole I think is about 8 to 10 feet high, so you could imagine distance. There you see one of the trucks, the privately owned trucks working here at the airport side, moving across this area with a load. Now, vehicles are still using this area to get to and from Warako, and it is very dangerous for them, so I am hoping that they will exercise some caution as they travel along this area where this work is going on currently. Well, I'm here on the foothill looking back at the work that is taking place just below me. And things are quite busy here, as you can see. I think a couple weeks ago I told you where you see the poles, the stakes being driven in the earth, is that they're going to cut on the inside of the poles of those stakes. And now you're seeing exactly that is taking place. You see one of the poles there? Right, and they are cutting on the inside here of the pole, and this is the route the new road is going to take. Currently the road is passing where that truck is coming up there close to the fencing, but for some reason the road is now being diverted back down here because of probably an error that was made in the depth of the road here on the south side. It's not that the road is too close to the fencing. I don't believe that is the issue. I believe the issue is that the road did not go deep enough below the level of the runway, which should have been 5 meters or 15 feet or thereabout. But nevertheless, the corrective work is being done, and they are working speedily on it as we approach the year's end. We are now in the 10th month, and the month is almost half, right? Today's the 15th, and this month carries 31 days. So by midday tomorrow, we can say we are halfway into the month of October. And October 27th will be our 37th anniversary of independence. I would have loved to see the airport officially open on that day, but unfortunately it is not the case. But however, whether it happens now or later down in the year, I know for sure that the airport will be opening soon. So just in case you're wondering where they're dumping all those dirt that they take from the south down here, this is where it is being dumped. So you have no doubt as I bring to you the information. You see where that truck is passing there with that load of dirt. That is where the current road is. But here on our right, into the bankside, you see where they have cut into the bankside area here. And I do not know if it's going to link back to the road over there. Most likely it would, or where it is going to link back. I don't know yet for sure. But this is the area where they have cut out where the new road is. And as you can see where this truck is going to pass down here, that is a fuel truck going there. They move around the site wherever the equipment are working. You know, they need fuel, so this truck, rather than the equipment going to the truck for fuel, the truck brings the fuel to the equipment working certain areas on the side. Now this is the area here where the road is going to come in on the bank side. You know, all here they have cut in. There is still work to be done here. There isn't any work going on. They're focusing on the work below down there, as you can see. And not too long from now, our new road will be coming up here and moving away from the bank side, overlooking the runway. So there you're seeing the bulldozer reverse back close to where the truck is. So that is the piece of equipment that needs some diesel fuel. So it's going to be replenished to start doing its work once more. There is a truck going with a load of stone. Remember I told you about the stone, but the stone that is carrying is fine aggregate, so I guess it is being taken to the asphalt batching plant instead of somewhere else on the site. Basically what the stone that they use in other areas, like when they're going to do asphalt or concrete work, stones like those on the side up there. But the stone that truck is carrying are some finer aggregates, and those are the stones they use when they're doing the asphalt work and concrete work. Well, I'm down at the flat now. I'm just showing you where they're actually doing the cleanup work. As you see, they finish this section of the drain up here. I'm not sure what they have to do down at the bottom, but when it rains now, I can tell you for certain that the water that will flow down here will flow through this drain. So they are close to the end of the work here, and this is where the first drain which is a box drain, and I am down in it right now. It's about 2 feet high on the inside and about 3 feet high on the outside. And this box drain is being linked to, I don't know if you call it a slipper drain, what kind of drain you call it, but this is the drain that it is linked into. And this drain is coming from all the way down at the south end, just in the area of the Makoni-Yami Hill in the south, and running along the same Makoni-Yami Hill bankside here, taking the water down to the north end up to the Breathwood gutter area. So basically what is left to be done down here is the putting in of the fencing poles between where you see the space between those blocks. There is where the poles are going to go. They're about 10 feet apart, 10 feet or so apart. And to finish off the work, the guys are finished on the work on the drainage system. So this segment of the work is completed, and the next segment, by next week or thereabout, we probably will see the guys coming in and putting in the poles, the boxing around the poles, and getting ready for the concrete and then the plastering of the blocks here to complete this section of the drain. And I guess the reason why this is done like that is because there is not enough space on the outside to run the fencing and to do it the rest of this, because on the outside we have the Rubis pipe passing, and if they were to do the fencing like the way they done it up at the top, the Rubis pipe will be in the way. So thus the reason why it is being done like this here. So we are seeing the development down here, and this piece of fencing work and what is taking place at the Petroglyph Hill, that is basically all the fencing work that is left to be done here at the airport site. And if you have noticed, you will see that the last set of fencing work to be done, those works are being done at the area where we have the Petroglyph Hill and the Makoniame Hill, the last two hills that they had to do work on to take down the hill to get the distance away from the runway. See, all this area I'm walking on now has been filled with dirt, not actually flush with the side, but it has been filled with dirt. So when it rains now, the water won't be settling up in this area, but the water will be flowing over into the drain and flowing down to the area where it's supposed to flow. So this, now that the drainage work here on the site is completed, we have the filling up of the area. Normally when it rains, the water will be settled here because work was still going on, so the completion work could not have been done in terms of filling up. But now that the drain is in position, we see that they have filled up here with dirt and it has been compacted, and when it rains now, I believe that the water will flow into the drain rather than settling up on the side. So I guess you remember this area where we had the slipping of the rock, the dirt, right up there. You see the dirt area rests on the rock, and I hope that they're gonna cut off some of that bank side and go more in, because right where we have that piece of rock here, where you see that kid, black kid is standing there, that could eventually fall down when it rains and come down here and also damage the fencing. Now this dirt here along this bank side is a kind of loose, more like sand. When it is dry, you can see the build up here of a lot of it since the fencing going, and the amount that has fallen down here and sort of build up behind there. That used to be an area where people used to pass to get on the outside before they completely blocked this area, and now you're seeing how much of the build up we have there at the back. Well, I am hoping that in times to come we'll have the maintenance crew coming in and cleaning the area. So here we have the work that was done to replace these fencing, and you can see the fresh poured concrete work. This time they would have done it a little differently. If you notice, they have some cutting there, and I no doubt that is being done to take the water that will be running off from behind here and coming back onto the site here and going into the drain over there. You see all of this water here on the apron on the south side. It is not here because we had rain last night or because the water truck has passed here. This water is here because of the water that is coming down in that area up there. It has to get somewhere to pass, and it's making its way down. And where I'm down here looking up at the bank side up there, I don't know if you can see like me, but I am fearful of the fact that this whole land area, right where you're seeing that stone, will just slip down. And it looks to me as if it has moved in this area. And this area that I'm talking about is resting on some rocks. It's just dirt resting on rock. And if the water is soaking through the rock, the dirt, and softens the dirt, eventually, if the water is not being flowed in a proper way, eventually when we have more rains, you will just find all of this land slipping down to the bottom down here and creating more work for them to do. So I'm hoping that they're going to really, I haven't gone up there yet to see if anything has been done, because I have highlighted it last week, and in order to correct the problem we have to deal with it up there. And if it has not been done, well, we're gonna still have it happening eventually, because we can see it started already, because the water up there in the drain needs to be cleared and channel the water properly, because what happens is that the water that is coming off the main road is being blocked, so it is not flowing out towards the Rubis farm and into the drain as they're trying to do. It is being settled up just in the back area where we have those stones and the grass patch there. It settles at the back there, and once it settles, it's going to soak through the earth and eventually it's going to come down. Well, here we are where they're building the wall, retaining wall, and as you can see, it's clearing patch. I don't know if you can see the stake with the orange marking on it over there, somewhere over there going straight across. What it looks like is as if the IADC is taking all of that land there now as part of the airport site, which will make sense. But here the guys are actually on lunch break right now, those guys working at the IADC office actually, but the guys who are working on the apron, on the hangars, they are still engaged in the work. Right here where we have, they're going to have that section of the hangar, you can see them busily doing work. Yeah, now what is happening here right now, those blue pipes you're seeing down there, those are the blue pipes for the CWSA. Now they are currently now running the pipes at the back of the hangars. Now that the hangars are being built, these pipes are being run so that the building that are going to be here, the hangars, will have the electricity that they will need, the water supply that they will need in the future when they are up and running. Currently their water is being stored in tanks which they are using to mix the mortar and concrete. As you can see over there, that black tank, that is what they're using right now. But currently the main pipes for their water supply when the buildings are completed are being run by CWSA at the back, connecting to the main pipes that they've already connected to the cargo terminal building. So what you're looking at here is the structure for the shell itself for the hangar, the Mustique Airways hangar. It's going up. On this side to me here, we are going to have the office space. Also on the southern side, there's also going to be office space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tours at 12 and 12, 24 office space. Upstairs and downstairs, 12 on one side, and the big open space for the aircraft. Whereas on this side we have the other second, this one here is the second hangar that is going up quite nicely, and on my left up there we also have a third hangar going up as well. So this is what we have. We still have this portion of the fencing work to be done here, this section to go up, and this is not going to take any length of time. We had some work done this morning on this portion here where you're seeing that pump there resting there. They did some work here this morning to carry up that piece, and the guys are now on lunch. So all here, when this wall is finished, all this area will be backfilled, no doubt, and then we're going to have our roadway in. Yeah. So I'm on top of the hill just south of where we have the Rubis farm. There is where the Rubis farm is, and I am overlooking the site from on top here. We have the cargo terminal building down there. In front we have the cargo apron. We have the electrical substation for the airfield, and on the left of the cargo terminal building is where we have the first of 4 hangars, and this one is being built for the Mustique Airways. And as you can see, the shell for the building is going up quite rapidly since the start this the putting up of these frames. Now you would have heard in news by now that the person, the engineer who was responsible for the construction of this building, he was dragging his feet, one who is totally against the building of the Argyle International Airport, and as a result was trying to sabotage the opening of the airport. Now one of these hangars is supposed to be completed before the actual operation of the airport, because when this airport becomes operational, E.T. Joshua will be closed. But if there isn't a hangar, at least one hangar up here at the airport site, it means therefore that the E.T. Joshua Airport will still have to remain open, which will bring an additional cost to the government to have 2 airports and the mainland open. So as a result of that, I guess to delay the opening and the operation of the Argyle International Airport, that engineer was more or less sabotaging the completion of this hangar here, and as a result he was fired by his employer, and the new employee who is now doing the job is making sure that work on this hangar is done in a reasonable time. So as you can see, the rates at which they are going. Well, I'm back here at this area on the bank side, overlooking the buildings and the other areas below, where we are seeing a little problem, and I call it a little problem. It could develop to be a big one, where we have the movement of the earth here. And like I have told you before, when I want to get to that area of the control tower, I would normally walk across here rather than walking on the main road and get across. But from what I'm seeing here now for the past couple visits here, I am not going to take that chance. You see what has happened here in this area? Since the road caved in, the drainage on the outer side of the road, which is the left hand side going towards the country, the water actually passes across the road and comes down in that area where we have some drums there on the side. So what happens is that that water used to flow across here, and it was expected to end up out at the main road over there at the end of the Rubis farm, and this water would run down back onto the site in that area down there where they're building the road. But what would have happened over a period of time, the slippage of the bank side eventually blocked the flow of the water. And as a result of that, the water continued to settle up in this area here. And with the last set of rain that we had about a week or two ago, after that rain came, we start seeing this problem developing here at the site. But the good news is, Wednesday I came here and took some photographs, and I forwarded some of those photographs to someone with great interest in what is taking place at this area, and asked that individual to communicate with the IADC to have them look at this area. And from a source here at the site, I was told this morning that during the week, this week, they had a lot of engineers up here looking at this area to come up with a solution to remedy this problem before it gets worse. Because, like I have told you, what is actually taking place, the water always find a way to go, and this is basically loose soil, probably resting on hard rocks. And if the water continues to settle here, what will eventually happen in the end is that the whole bank area will slip down. And down at the bottom down there, you can see where the water is running down there, where we have water settling up just south of the electrical substation. That water is the water that is settling in the bottom here, and is now making its way down at the bottom down there as an escape. You see, all along this pathway is where the water was intended to pass. All along here you can see water still in the drain, a little bit of it running, and end up at the back of the fence, just between the fence and the road. And that water will go all the way out, but it will come back down on the site down there. But as they complete the work here at the airport, they would have put the water in a proper drainage. But for the time being, here is where it used to run. And as a result of the fact that the water cannot get a pathway to pass that bank area over there, it settles in that flat and causing the problem that we know. See where I'm standing here looking across to where we have the control tower. This is the route that the road used to once pass. Now where you see that yellow van just come down there, this is the new road that they would have put to link back the road so that vehicles can still use this main road. And this road, no doubt, is running through the property of those people at the top of there. But so where we have the problem now is in the center, in the center down there, where we have that green patch, where right across that area is where the road caved in all around here. And it seems as though the water is still coming down in that area and settled there. And as you can see from here, it looks as though it has got a little bit deeper down and it has come further inside. So between Wednesday and now, you see the progress of the work here regarding this security booth at the area of the control tower. So from the looks of things here, no one will be able, no unauthorized personnel will be able to come beyond this security booth. So the furthest you probably might be able to reach is right here where the security booth starts. So this work is being done by Haksha Construction, the same person who done the one down at the south of the passenger terminal building. And from where I'm at up here on the hill looking back at it down there, I can see it is whitewashed on the outside. There you seen it in your view. Yes. So I don't know if this is the last one or if he has another one to build. I know he told me that he has one to build between the two buildings down there. I don't know. I'll wait and see what takes place. But this is the one that he is currently working on here, because the one down south of the passenger terminal building is completed. So up here we have the control tower, already completed since sometime last year, and no doubt it has been equipped. And this building here is where we have the Met Office. This used to be the home of Carl Glasgow, deceased, and now it is now the office for the meteorological workers and other airport officials here at the site. I am here in the area where they're gonna have the Met station, where it was built, the blocks wall, the foundation, and fill it up with dirt. I don't know yet what is going on top of here, if it is going to be concreted or if they're going to plant grass. I believe that around it they're going to do some fencing work to enclose the area. Now this is our control tower here, and already waiting to go in full operation. There is still some small bits and pieces of work left to be done up here, and the guys, they are working up here, but currently they are on lunch. And as I look back down there, I can see the lovely passenger terminal building and the air bridges all waiting to go into operation. And in the distance we can see the end of the turning head, the grass on the ground just freshly cut, and areas where the grass are growing, and the airport is looking nice, ready for operation. Very lovely, picturesque airport here, I can see. And looking back over there on the Johnston Hill, I see a flock of sheep, like they're heading down to the pasture down here on the airport side. They're actually coming down there just below where that house is. There's a space there, and it looks as though they take that as the road to come on the site to have a feed and then to go back home. As we look down at the south down there, we can also see the southern turning head, and down there we have work going on as well regarding the roadway. And over there we have the Fort Hill, and we can see Ballysoe and Batwell right in the distance. Mustic down there, also a little bit of Canawan and Union Island. So things are happening here, and I can tell you that the work is slowing down. And unlike earlier up in the year and last year, used to have a lot of activity taking place here on Saturdays when I come here. But as we draw closer to the end of the work, we hardly see much taking place, because you know the runway is fully completed, and it's just the little bits and pieces of side work, small work that is left to be done here on the site that they are focusing on. Down there you see that shiny object there, that is the drainage. That drain is going across, crossing the taxiways, the Bravo and the Charlie taxiways. That green patch there between the Charlie and the Bravo taxiway is sloping towards a center, as you can see. The greenness of the patch that is not cut somewhere down there, there is where we have the manhole of the drain. The drain goes straight across there and empties into the 191. You see those slabs there? If you can recall, down at the approach end of the south, you see they lay down some like that. I call them tiles. Now they're going to do something similar up here, but I am not sure exactly where. I am wondering if it is around this area, around the building. I am seeing a stake there, I am seeing line, and I'm seeing like a clearing there, and I could assume, and sometimes when I assume right, but it looks to me as if here is the area they're going to do some work. They're going to lay down some of those same tiles to look something similar to down at the south end. And I don't know how much of it they're going to put down here, but you know, most likely around the building, so that the water that runs off here can run into the drain and not soak into the foundation of the building. So I'm heading down to the bottom, and I have to make my way out to the terminal building side, over to the petroglyph, of course, to see what is taking place, and maybe take a trip up at the back of the petroglyph hill to see if anything new has happened up there. So until such time, I'm gonna leave you here for now until I reach my next. You see this pole box you're seeing here, and some that we have down at the bottom down there. These are actually the box to bring the electrical cables that will be supplying the electricity to these hangars that are here on the side. And also the pipes that are being run by the CWS in the back down here, that is also to supply the water supply to the buildings or the hangars that are being built on the site right now. Over on this end, just below this Bangkok area up here, and where I'm at here is the emergency access road that is coming from the terminal building, the passenger terminal building, and going out at the main road where I just came from. Here you're seeing works, and the drain has already started. They're laying down the steel matting, and they will have already put down some concrete, and this is a new drainage system being done here. Yeah man, to take the water from that will be coming down from the road area, just north of where they are building the road, where those houses are in the flat up there. There's a drain was there before all of this work started, and when it rains, the water still bring the drain. The drain still bring the water down onto the side. So this drain here, coming from the south, going back here, is to also to take the water. And recently, when we have the rain, have more or less like a spring somewhere in the top up there, and we still have water flowing down here. So this drain that they put in here will also help to take all of this water back out. And you know that they have dug a trench up there to bring this water down here. So this water will be coming down here and going back into this drain that they're building here, and take it back into the drain on my right that they already built since earlier up in the year. So here we have the taxi hut being painted lemon, kind of greenish color, roof blue, just like the terminal building roof. And I think we should have a little bit of yellow, but the green is a bit too light. What do you think? Oh, we have the blue, we have the green, and we need a little bit of yellow to give it a national color look. But the green needs to be a bit dark. But I'm just taking you around to see what it looks like on the other side. This side you're looking at is the south side, and now we are on the west. You have seen the east and the south, and now you're seeing the north side. The door is in now. Everything is spit and ready. So there you have it. I noticed that the bottom of the columns there, it is not painted. I don't know if they're going to put a different color, maybe a strip of yellow down there, who knows. You see where the white still is around the wall itself. Probably that is what they're going to do, but I think the green is a bit too light. But here we are at this area where they're building what's supposed to be the garage, the covered garage area for the ground handling equipment and storage facilities. Now, as usual, today's Saturday, another Saturday, and there isn't anyone working here. Like I have told, it seems though they don't really work on Saturdays, but for the past week I am just showing you the progress of the work that was done here over the past week, and this work is coming along quite nicely. We have had the conduit being run, and I believe this is being done by the electrical guys here at the IADC who are working on the installation of the lights. We have the first ring beam done here and now we're seeing um, a second one going up at the top. Maybe in between those spaces you might very well have some vent for air to come in. We're seeing here on this what is an enclosed area, some blocks work at the top there, and I don't know what it's like all about, but from the way the blocks are looking on the outside, it tells me that this is not going to be plastered. Looks as though it's going to stay just like that because they are nicely grooved where the mortar is between the blocks. We have nice groove, and when you see work like that is when there isn't going to be any sort of plastering. And here, no doubt, you can see the wedge shape. It looks like it's going to be a driveway to go up into the building, and as you can see, the siding there of this piece of wood, I tell you, when they put on the concrete, it's going to come off to a level here. So all here is going to have concrete coming off to a level. So no doubt you might very well have a vehicle driving into that area. But this is the building so far. This is what it looks like. This is the progress of the work here as we continue with the finishing touches of the work here at the Argyle International Airport site. I can't say for sure who is building this building, but it could very well be the same people who are building the one up just north of the passenger terminal building. But this, what I believe would be the garage area for servicing the vehicle, and I am somewhat confused because when I look at the IADC update, this area is referred to as the storage area and the parking area for the ground handling equipment. And in a previous video of the IADC update, the impression I got is that the section up north of the terminal building is the parking area for the ground handling vehicles, and the storage and this area down here is the garage. So I am not quite sure, but so I'm getting mixed messages regarding this work, but for the time being I'm going to call here the garage area for servicing the vehicle, and up at the top up there where we're going to have the ground handling equipment and parking. And why I say up there is going to be where we have the parking for the ground handling equipment is because there is much closer to the taxiway, to the apron, than down here is. This here is more out of the way, more or less suitable for the garage rather than the servicing garage rather than up at the terminal building area up there. But in times to come we're gonna see nothing is happening here, but you will see some work being done there over the past week. We've seen steel for the columns are in place, the matting for the foundation of the columns they are also in place, and the trenches are dug. So by next week we can see something new happening here at the site. I am now heading over to where we have the Petroglyph Hill and the fencing work taking place. So here we are at the south end of the Petroglyph Hill, and you can see where the fencing now link with this fencing that enclose this area where they're gonna have the service garage. So all of the poles are in, and this up to this point, and just 1, 2, 3, 4 more pieces of fencing left to go in here at the hill. Then we have the fork at the top and the barb and razor wire to put in up here. So this is basically what is taking place, and no doubt very soon we're going to have these meshes go into place and complete the work here on this area. From where I'm standing here right now looking back down to the north, I can see the guys busily putting up one of the mesh. Just take it off there from the forklift and trying to get it in position. So the work here on the fencing is almost completed. Right now the guys have the mesh in place and making way now to put up these mesh. So by the next visit here, probably next week, Wednesday or so, or Saturday when I come back, all of this fencing work here on the area of the petroglyph hill will be completed. Currently they are removing here, as you can see, the boxing that they put up to put on that concrete crown around the drainage system. The next stage of work left to be done is over in the area where we have the water exiting into the area of the 220. Right there in the north, that is more or less the last set of work left to be done. So here is where the final piece of work is left to be done, to take all of this runoff water into the area of the 191. That piece of black pipe you see in there will be going under the fencing area to take the water through that section. So what they're doing now there is where they're going to run some blocks to continue with this drainage system here, coming all the way from the south of the petroglyph hill and ending up into the north end just south of the 220. Not too long from now you're going to see the laying down of the blocks here, because that is what they're doing the preparation work for. And there you see the mortar coming in place to start this work. I am back here at the back of the petroglyph hill, where they are putting up the VORDM. Well, they actually had put up most of it, and there were some minor works left to be done. Now we are seeing the completion, what I would believe is the completion or the fitting up of the rest parts of this VORDM station. The workmen are here. You see those white objects at the top, those were not there Wednesday when I passed here. On the ground there where you see that gentleman is standing, you see an antenna with some red lights. No doubt that will be going up at the top there with the lights signal, so that aircraft traveling in this area will know that there is an object up in the air. Some time ago I came here and showed you this pole and told you that it was newly planted, and I show you where they had this piece of PVC pipe here, and I told you that also this is going to be where the power for the VORDME center will be starting from. Now you're seeing the wires on the pole. So Finlec has done its part by bringing the wires up here. So what is left to be done will be the connection of the electricity to these columns here that will be run right down to where we have the VORDME station down there. And as you can see, the guys have just finished. They are doing some work on it actually, and very soon we're gonna see the powering of this piece of equipment here at the site, and which will bring the communication system from the ground to the aircraft into operation. And you would have been hearing that before the year's end, we're gonna see the operation of the airport. So yeah, I'm following this trail of conduit coming all the way back to this point here, but I can't say yet for sure exactly what it's all about. But you know, as time goes by, these little things that I don't know about, I will eventually see them put in place, so then I'll be able to say exactly what it is all about. The guys them seem to have finished their task for today. There you see the vehicle seems to be heading out. So I don't know, by next week when I come back here, we should see that piece of the antenna up in the air in the center of that circle at the top of the VOR, the ME station. Well, I'm here on the outside of the fencing, and you know, when I passed down here a while ago, the guys were getting ready to put up the last set of meshes down here. They are actually up at the far end doing the same. Now I went up on the Petroglyph Hill to do a little visit to see what has happened. And now that I come back down, and when I went up there actually, I went through the gate, which was open. But now that I return back down and hoping to get back on the inside through the same gate, the gate is locked and there isn't any space that I could slip through to get back on the inside. But I must find a way back in because I have to continue making my rounds. So I'm going to find my way up, maybe on the outside of the fencing there, or I could probably go up back to the main road and walk the main road come on. But this is the situation now, so I just want you to know, and I want you to see that all of the fencing work in the area of the foot of the Petroglyph Hill, I am not quite sure if they have completed out at the far end on the south where it's going to link up back to that one that they have done. But I want to believe because I can see them working out there. And when I get back on the inside, I will probably show you. But just to let you know that the fencing work here at the foot of the Petroglyph Hill is completed. All that is left to be done is the finishing touches on the drainage system inside here and the filling up, cleaning up and the filling up of this area with the dirt, and a small piece of drainage work down there where they started just after lunch at the bottom down here. Here is the gate, and the gate is locked. Normally if they didn't put up the fencing I would have been able to pass through and get back on the inside, but here is the gate and you can see the big lock on the gate, so no more passageway for people after certain hours coming through this area here of the site. This is a roadway that can lead you back out to the main road just west of the Argyle bridge, and it can also take you back up on the hill. But I am going this way to see if I could get out. I am now back on the inside. I don't ask me how I get back on the inside, but I got back on the inside. That is all you need to know. So here's the lock gate, and now I'm going to make my way down to the end where we have the guys them working on the fencing down there, and I'm going to show you they're putting up the last piece of the meshes of the fencing, so that this whole area now, as you can see, is now fenced. So all that is left to be done is that small area down at the foot of the Makonyami Hill, and by next week when I come back here, that will be done. And the thing is that I might not be able to get inside unless, well, I'll find a way anyway. But very soon I must let you know that getting on the inside of the perimeter fencing will be a thing of the past in times to come. When all the fencing are in, I will have to probably use one of the main gates, and I hope I will allow access to get inside to continue with my coverage of the work being done here at the Argyle International Airport side. So here we have the drainage system already done, and what is left now is plastering of the inside of the drain and the filling up of this area on the outside the removal of all of these pieces of wood and the compaction of this area here to complete the work here at this side. If it does rain now, the water will flow quite nicely along the drain and into the 220. So there we have it, the last piece of the fencing work here at the foot of the petroglyph hill. Well, the pole here is finally up. When I passed this morning, it was still resting on the scaffold there, but now I'm passing back this afternoon. I am seeing it up in position. So a little bit of good news here with this. That's been there quite a while. They were fitting it up and now it is up in position. It looks like it is full moon tonight, the 15th of October 2016. I'm here at my spot just admiring the moon as it rises from the horizon come up. It's been here quite a while now. Actually, there are some trucks coming from over the area over there where we have those stones. Just can't see it. About 2 trucks where you see that light flashing there. 2 trucks are jogging stones to somewhere up on the northwestern side, and I want to believe is where they're building the road coming down by the Rubis. Based on what I saw there today, could very well be there is where the stones are being dumped. The stones that they're removing here are the base stones, normally what they put down when they are doing the roadway. And after touring the site today, that is the only place I can figure out right now where they're putting down stones. There is one of the trucks, one of the 2 trucks heading back to where they are collecting the stones from over on the foothill and taking them to what I believe is just in the area of the road coming down from the Rubis farm where it links with the main road. So there you have it, this week's tour of the Argyle International Airport site for today, Saturday, the 15th day of October 2016. So until next week, the 22nd, when I join you once more for another tour of the airport site, I want to take this opportunity to wish you all the best, and may you have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, weekend, whatever time you're viewing this video. Do have yourself a wonderful time. Until then, my name is Sidney Morgan. I'm leaving you for now.
Oh, what a bright and glorious day, brothers and sisters, yes, it's a bright and glorious day, mothers and fathers, when the first jet touched down on the Argyle runway. It's a joy to see, we witness history. Oh, what a bright and glorious day, brothers and sisters, for the meek to take over, we need more than bread and water, yes. Give us strength, oh Jaja, for us to read the next chapter. Oh, what a bright and glorious day. Hey, hey. To build this nation, we need every help we can.